What's up, guys? My name is Chris, and this is Mitten Mobile Hunting. Now, as a lot of you will find out, I will have a very authentic, true to what I feel like a lot of people go through sort of hunting style and hunting video. A lot of these pages nowadays have crews and production teams and all sorts of money and gear, and that I feel like the average day hunter, especially in Michigan, doesn't have access to, with the way the economy is and what have you, which, that's a whole nother conversation. I want to sort of deliver, the most authentic, true hunting experience, video experience that I can deliver. And I really think that there is a lot of you that will appreciate that and hop on board with it because, again, not everybody has the unlimited funds and all the gear and the up to date, all the new stuff, all the new features, whatever. Not everybody has that sort of stuff. So I'm a Michigan dad, Michigan hunter. I don't have access to private property like a lot of people do. I used to, but like many people nowadays, a lot of people are losing access to private land that they used to hunt due to whatever reason. So last year was my first kind of go about into state land, and this year I'm going to be doing it again. And I wanted to take you guys along with me and kind of document this journey as I dive deep into this mobile hunting sort of area. It's new to me. A lot of you guys hunt out of box blinds, and you got the same stand, same blind that you hunt every single year. And, while as nice as that is, that's not the reality for a lot of people nowadays. So if you're like me and you find yourself kind of saying, well, what do I do? Where do I go? Follow along with me on this journey. And again, it's bear with me. It's in the very infant stages. And as many of you will find out, this is a brand new page, and this is something completely new to me, uncharted territory. I've been hunting my whole life, but never documented, never shot videos, never really kind of wanted to tell my story. But this is me making an attempt to do that, and I hope you guys enjoy it and come along for the ride. So with that being said, again, this is Chris. I'm kicking off my page called Mitten Mobile Hunting. And I am going to today do a quick little gear video and kind of show you what I have collected over the last couple years and what my method is as far as packing in what I take with me. So with that being said, let's kind of dive into it, and I'll kind of show you guys what I like to bring and what's kind of been working for me. And we'll again, bear with me. We'll start this journey together. So, Mitten Mobile Hunting, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's go along for the ride. So, to start, I have, of course, a binocular holder, bone collector. So, that's a chest strap because what I found up in the tree, as many of you I'm sure know, I'm not digging for my binoculars every time. I'm not trying to dig in my bag and try to hunt and find it when I need it. So obviously that's something I feel a lot of you may use, especially if you're up in the tree. Now, next thing here, I got this Cal hunting saddle harness combo. Now, as you can see, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I got it off Amazon. It wasn't too bad. It was about $80 because, again, like I said, I'm not rich, as I'm sure many of you aren't either. So this was kind of a sort of 2-in-1. You get the saddle out of it, you get the harness out of it. Now, I did upload a couple shorts of me wearing this to kind of show what it looks like on my body. I can do that for you guys if you like, but it comes with all the best of both worlds as far as a saddle and a harness. You got your safety tether. You got another sort of strap to lineman belt to kind of go around the tree as you're climbing. And then this is your actual tether that you're actually adjusting with your slip loop right here. this is kind of what you're hooked into, and this is kind of your main lead that is, you know, your saddle. So as you can see, it's all connected, it's all one piece. I have the actual chest part up here with the nice wide butt saddle right there. And you know, I used this last year for the first time, and I think it was great. It was super comfortable. It didn't really pinch my hips like I've seen a lot of guys talk about in their videos. You know, I found myself hunting for hours on end with not a problem. Now, if you have seen my shorts already, you'll see that I don't have a platform, you know, so that's something for me that is on the list of things I need to get. And, you know, hopefully soon to come, I will get one. But, yeah, I've just kind of been hunting on, you know, standing on a tree branch. With that being said, without a platform, that's where this is coming super in handy. You know, standing on a branch is not the most safe. So with this system, you have multiple points of contact where you're tied to the tree. Again, you have the safety tether that clips into the back, so you're safe if you do fall. You have the lead, you have everything around that, you know, may help. And nice little feature, comes with a little safety whistle because, again, you never know. Now, also, you guys may see in the background, muck boots, although I like to kind of wear this in colder weather. It's a little hot. I don't know if you're like me, and, you know, lately October's been 70s, 80s. The temperature doesn't really fall off till after, you know, kind of closer to gun season. I sweat a lot in those, but they are nice because if you're like me, especially in some of these state lands, it's mucky, it's marshy, it's swampy. You know, again, true to Michigan hunting, it's a lot of Michigan is swampland, so those come in handy quite a bit. Next over here, this is my bag, and kind of usually what it looks like when I pack in, pack out. I will go through the contents. I will go through the contents of that here shortly. You know, I try to keep it lightweight. I try not to do too much with me. You know, if I can leave it in the car, I will. But you know, there's some things that I just take with me at all times. I'll go through that here in a second. Sliding over here, I do, depending on what the setup is, I do like to put this kind of around my back, strap it to me. This is a pop-up blind that it's a chair blind, pop-up blind that I have had pretty good luck with in the past. I mean, it's super lightweight, and it really doesn't take much to even bring with you. You know what? I hardly even notice it when it's on my shoulder because, again, it's, I mean, no more than 15 pounds, 10 pounds, which I know some of you may be against, you know, depending on how far you're going in. I mean, me personally, I'd like to get as far as I can into it, and you'll see a lot of that to come here with this upcoming season. I want to get a half mile plus off the road and away from the parking lots because, you know, a lot of you, I mean, you may understand, not many other guys are going to be trying to go deep into the woods where the deer are, but that's what I like to try to do. I want to get out there where the deer are, and this helps me. And it has a super low profile, and I'll show you actually real quick how fast it is to set up. Just a quick little buckle, unfold the chair, open it up, and away you go. That's it. Easy as that. Now, if I wasn't filming in my cluttered garage, it might be easier for you to see. But again, with the authenticity of my page, you guys will see I don't have a big production. I don't have camera crew and all that. You know, it's just me. And you guys will see that. And I think a lot of you guys will appreciate that. But, I mean, right off the bat, it took me one-handed while filming in a tight garage 30 seconds to put up. And from there, you can shut the windows. It does have multiple windows that you can see out of, that you can open. I love the camo pattern. I think in you know, in the deep Michigan woods, I've used this several times, and even if I have a little bit of time, I'll throw some extra brush around it to kind of mask that sort of round profile. But I love this thing. It is super handy. I've had a double chair blind before in the past. Gets a little cumbersome, a little heavy. I kind of like the lower profile of the one chair system, but I mean, it's just like a typical bag chair. You get your cup holders, and it has, you know, these mounting points on the corners for it to pick up and down, but you get all your windows. You know, it's black inside, so you can wear black and hide real well. And it's super quick, super easy, super light. I love this thing. This thing is super nice to put under a pine tree or tuck in the branches somewhere, and, you know, put it on the edge of the field in some tall grass. And obviously, if you don't like the big window, then forgive me again. I apologize. I'm one-handed. If you don't like the big window, it's got this smaller window right here. So this works real well for gun hunting. You know, if you're gun hunting, you don't need that big window open. You can just do that. And sometimes I like to play with the zippers to give myself little, you know, visible windows. Because when you're in the blind looking out, you don't need much for it to be open. And actually, I'll show you what the view looks like really quick. I mean, watch how easy this is. You sit down in it and just pull it over yourself. And once you're inside, you're totally concealed. You have leg room, foot room. I like to tuck my bag off to the side. And again, cup holders, pockets, all sorts of windows. And I find myself just kind of peeking out the side right there if I hear anything. Super concealed. And again, gun hunting, you have the nice smaller window. Bow hunting, what I like to do is I will have this window shut, the smaller gun window, I'll have that shut, and I'll take my shooting sticks, which I don't have in the video at the moment, but I'll take shooting sticks and kind of prop it up right here and tuck this flap onto the shooting sticks where my hand is. So I'll have my bow just sitting on the shooting sticks, stock on my knee at the ready, because as you guys will see here in a second, this may not be ideal for compound hunting, but I have a crossbow and that's what I like to use. So for a crossbow hunter, it works perfect with shooting sticks right here, kind of right in the middle or even off to the side. If you're right-handed or right-eye dominant, you might want it over here. Left-eye dominant, you might want it over there. But the bow's cock lock ready at all times, right out the window, so you don't have to put it out the window and spook anything off if they see that movement. The bow will just sit here ready to go, stock on my knee, and all I have to do is lift it a little bit, kind of pivot, aim, and shoot. Again, it's super spacious. It even has these stake holes if you want to throw stakes in to get yourself a wider footprint and actually get way more leg room. But I mean, there's a ton of room here, guys. You can fit a bag. I've even brought heaters in here, a little Buddy propane heater, just a one stand-up tank one. I've even put heaters in here in the winter time. It is super nice, super convenient, super light. I love taking this thing out. Now, again, to close it down, you just throw it over yourself. Get the sides unraveled off the armchair, and then just like any other bag chair, you just fold up the chair just like that, and then redo the buckle, strap it down, and away you go. Just like that. It's super easy, super quick, super light. That thing comes super in handy because, again, on these state land treks deep into the woods, I'm not leaving blinds up. I box blinds while they're nice and comfy, and you know that's what a lot of people are used to. You don't have the luxury on state land, and I have and will sit up against a tree, but sometimes I like a little bit more concealant so I can spread out, and you know that way I'm way more concealed, and I lower the chances of deer picking me out and spotting me. Now, moving on to here, this is what a lot of you guys, I know a lot of people are not fans of crossbows. You know, a lot of people stay true to the compound as long as they can. But hey, when it's a gift, you use it. And I love this thing. I've killed so many deer with it. It's super quiet, super powerful, super accurate. I will have a video of me shooting this and getting it sighted in for the season. That will be coming here. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm working with. So I have, it's a Barnett Raptor Pro with 22-inch bolts that you can see here. I use headhunters, and my favorite broadhead of choice It's called an F-15, as some of you may guess, like a F-15 fighter jet. I've killed a lot of deer with this. It's a fixed blade. I'm not a fan of mechanical. I just have better luck with this, but I've killed a lot of deer with amazing blood trails with this. All right, so this is the stuff that I typically keep in my bag. I might not take all this out with me at any given point, but most of the time this is about the bare necessities that I like to go out with. So of course I always keep multiple different bolts. You know, I try to keep broadheads on them, but I will keep the one with the target tip for when I'm done with the hunt. You got to decock the bow. I have obviously my cocking string that always goes with me, extra broadheads just in case. I keep 2 different knives because, you know, just in case you lose one, you got the other. I have a Bushnell binoculars and Bushnell rangefinder that I always take with me. A couple flashlights, more target tips, because again, you never know when, if you're on a multiple hunt sit, that you have to decock your bow. If one of them gets blunt or falls off, I just always want to have those. I keep some wicks. I need to get more dopey, excuse me. I usually keep that with me, but I used it all last season. Grunt tube, that I love this. This is, it's called an Uproar from Primos. You know, you get your estrus bleat along with your aggressive grunt, and it gives you a snort wheeze tube. I keep electric hand warmers because I like to hunt year round, and you know, when it's out there and it's freezing cold, you know, sometimes it's nice just to keep the thaw off, you know, which segues right into foot and hand warmers, back warmers. You know, on those long sits, it's nice just to kind of take that chill out of your bones. I do keep a hunting journal. I like documenting as far as what I see, when I see it, the weather that day. Because if you're like me and you're a busy man and a million things going through your head, it's nice to kind of look back. I mean, it's memories. It's something that I started when I first started hunting somewhere around 2009, and I've been doing it every year since. You know, I love being able to look back and see what times the deer were moving and what kind of weather, and you know, it's just a nice little way to document what I see and who I'm with and where I'm hunting. You know, because it's a lot to remember throughout the years, especially when you hunt so much. A lot of the hunts kind of blur together. Of course, I have a rattle bag. I keep a saw with me because, again, I like to move around. I like to make sure I have good shooting lanes. And, you know, this is nice. It's foldable. It cuts super easy. I mean, this thing will rip through big trees, small branches, whatever you want. I like having that so you're not screwing around with trying to break it out in the woods and, you know, causing a bunch of noise and racket that you don't want. It's just nice to be able to cut a few limbs if you need to. Toilet paper, of course. And I like to have 2 different face masks, you know, camo if I'm up in the tree in my saddle, or black if I'm in my pop-up blind there, my little chair blind. I like to always go out the woods with rope because, again, when I'm up in the tree, I like to pull my gear up, which I'm sure many of you do, but I don't like leaving it out there because, again, state land hunting, I'm not leaving my stuff out there for other people to get to. So that's nice to always have. You can never have too much string. Even I like using this thicker one to sometimes wrap around the deer and drag them out to help me. You know, because a lot of times I'm by myself, so it could get tiresome and cumbersome to be hanging on to the deer, especially if you're dragging it miles back or over a mile back to the truck or to the car or whatever. My bleat can, I keep stakes with me because, again, if you were watching earlier in the video, sometimes it's nice to stake down the front of that so you get that extra leg room, that extra sort of space in front of you. That way it's not flapping around. I do like to have the milkweed, you know, long range wind indicator. This is phase 3. I got that on Amazon. That's super nice because a lot of you, if the concept of thermals is new to you, it's really nice when you're up in the tree, because just because the wind's blowing one way doesn't mean that that's the way that it's going. I have many times found that once I get up in the tree, even though I have a wind in my face, I drop those and my scent circles right back around. So it's super nice to be able to tell. That's the concept that I'm sure a lot of you may know about at this point in time. You know, that's kind of a common thing with a lot of the new hunters now. Of course, you know, you guys know what that is. Let's see here. I mean, that's about it. Of course, you always got to have your scent killer. I keep this with me at all times because, again, I have to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to my spot, and I can't shower in the woods and get cleaned up and fresh like a daisy when I get out there. So I like to spray myself down before I leave and when I get out there before I walk into the truck. Or excuse me, before I walk into the woods. I think that's something I always like to keep on me. But yeah, that's about the basics. That's kind of the stuff that I keep with me at all times in my backpack. I like to keep all that stuff. You never know when you're going to need all that. And along with that, whether I'm saddle hunting or whether I'm chair blind hunting, both of those are super lightweight. Obviously I pack out into the woods with that on, or I fold that up and strap it over my shoulder, and away you go. Something you guys will learn here is this is going to be true, authentic Michigan state land mobile hunting. And yeah, you guys, like I said, bear with me. I will do my best to portray this as authentic as possible, because I want you guys to be able to really relate to the experience of not having millions of dollars or thousands of dollars to where you can get the latest and greatest gear and kits and have all the sticks and platforms and all the sprays and soaps, and I don't have access to that, unfortunately. Many of you, like me, are a family man. You got a wife, you got kids, you got bills, and I want to portray a very authentic, true Michigan state land mobile hunting. I think that a lot of you guys will appreciate that. And again, if you haven't already, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Bear with me in the start of this journey. This is going to be rough. There's a lot to learn, and I hope you guys stick around with me and see this through, and hopefully I can get some fans for life. So again, my name's Chris. This is Mitten Mobile Hunting, and I'll see you guys out in the woods.